Hi, freaky friends. I'm Margaret.
And I'm Colleen.
And
we're the Cousins Weird.
Hi.
Hi, weirdos. Hi, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Terrible Trend 34.
My husband wants to watch, but I have to send him a link.
What is this?
I don't know if I know.
What?
Do I know how to do that?
Tell him. What is this? 2012? Ruben, you're a tech guy. You're an IT man.
I'll just go on Facebook.
Go to the Cousins Weird on Facebook and you'll see our video. How's it going, Anthony? Just killing time when Margaret texts her husband in the middle of the episode. No big deal.
Yeah, because, that's how it works. I've got a good trend today, okay? I got a good
It'll be worth the wait, we hope.
It will. It's pretty funny. I found one thing, and then it just kind of snowballed into everything I'm going to talk about today. So, we're going to talk about a Greek physician. His name was Galen, and he was born in 129 and died in 201, Common Era, He believed that the human body was made up of 4 fluids called humors, and they would be black bile, yellow bile, blood, and phlegm.
Yes, I've heard this.
Yes.
I think you've said this in another episode.
Uh-oh. Anthony's recovering from oral surgery. And I'm glad you're hanging out with us. We're gonna terrify you in a minute. He theorized, Galen...
Oh, there's Ruben's hair. See it? Ruben.
Hi, Ruben. One of the husbands weird is watching, so
Oh,
hi.
that's been weird.
He theorized that people were ill if any one of these humors was out of balance. And that's like how they would heal you, is they would try to balance your humors, basically, right? And medieval medicine was based upon this thought. So in medieval times, the Dark Ages, they were dark, let me tell you. They thought if something was wrong with you, they need to balance your humors. Medieval Europe got into a bit of a bind when the plague hit. So, the Black Death lasted from 1331 to 1770. I mean, we're talking, it had a wide span, on and off. It would kind of go around. There was a couple of different plagues, but the one that we know mostly is the bubonic plague.
Yes.
And that would be high fever, vomiting, bleeding from the lungs. You'd get these things called buboes, which were black boils on your skin.
So it's called the Black Death.
Yes. It was unpleasant and horrible.
I don't like it.
People it killed over 30% of the population of Europe when it was all said and done. Like 30% of the people were dead. So that's a
lot of people.
That's a lot of people, right? If you caught the plague, you usually died about 3 days later. Like, you didn't have it for long.
Quick.
Yeah. Most people
I didn't know that.
Died within 3 days of having symptoms of the plague.
Oh, jeez.
Not everybody that got the plague died, and not everybody caught the plague. So some people had natural immunity. Some people were just lucky.
Kind of like COVID.
Yes. Bloodletting. We're going to get into some of the things that, if you got the plague, these are some of the wonderful things that people would do to you.
Margaret.
Yes, so we're going into cures for the plague.
This isn't going to be good, I can tell.
Bloodletting was thought to allow some of the excess humors to leave the body. So, maybe you have too much blood in your body. We're going to let some of that out. They loved bloodletting. And it was because they thought
and bloodletting.
You're sick because you had too much blood. Like,
that makes sense.
No, if you get stabbed and you lose blood,
you die.
You don't want to lose more, then you'll die.
It's not a good idea.
This was a popular healing method that lasted well into the 1800s. I mean, they used bloodletting forever, right?
They loved it.
Another form of bloodletting would be leeches, and they would leech you, and they would put the leeches directly on the buboes,
just sucking out the buboes.
Yeah, because they thought they were gonna take all that infection out, the toxins, and when they would
Yes, Anthony, exactly.
Yes.
Like when they used to just suck out the sickness.
Yes, they thought that this leech was going to get sick. Like, a little afterthought was the leeches that were most preferred to be used medically was called Hirudo medicinalis and was actually declared extinct in Britain in the 20th century. These bleeders, they freaking used up all the leeches and all the leeches died. The specific leech that they like, those big black ones, are extinct in England because they use them so much for healing.
That's terrible. Poor leeches.
It's awful.
Gave them the plague.
This is my favorite
Can't be good.
method of
Can't
healing
be good
the plague.
if she likes it.
It's fantastic, okay?
Mm-mm.
The Vickery method.
No.
Named for Dr. Thomas Vickery.
No.
He said that if you pluck all the feathers from a chicken's butt
Ah!
and then tie the chicken's naked butt so it's touching the patient's elbows, and then during this period, people thought chickens breathed out of their butt.
So hold on, we need to guess what? Chicken butt, huh?
Yeah, so they tie this naked... First of all, there's chickens running around with no feathers on their ass, and then they're going to tie the naked ass to the bubo
While it's alive?
while it's alive. The chicken is alive when this is happening, and they tied it on so that its butt was directly on your boil, and then after a while, if the chicken seemed like it was getting sick, they would take the chicken off, and they would wash it, and then put it back. And it was like a race to see who died first. The chicken? Or the man? You know, it's like, there was no proof that this did anything.
Classic chicken or the egg scenario, isn't it?
Everybody knows chickens breathe out of their ass. You know, that's how they breathe, through their butt.
What made them think they were breathing out their butt?
They thought they were going to breathe all the sickness out and suck it out with their breath.
Suck it out with their butt.
Yes. Yeah, I read that, and that's not even the reason. That was a little extra fun tidbit that I found out, that I thought I was going to die. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
This next one, Colleen is going to hate.
Oh, it's not snakes, is it? It is. I can tell.
It totally is.
I knew they were coming. Okay,
And
go.
some religious leaders blame the plague on snakes.
Yes, I'm sure.
So, naturally, it made sense to cut up the evil snakes and place the parts on the person where they had the evil sickness. Because like cures like, this is what they thought. Right? So, if the snakes are evil, and the evil is in your body, and if you put the evil snake on the evil, it'll draw the evil out.
I'll die. Just let me die.
After that, I'm like, who wants to put cut up dead snake parts on themselves?
Just let me die in peace. Leave me here. I don't want leeches. I don't want snakes.
Yeah, gross.
I'll just die with my things.
And also, they like to use poop poultices.
Well, poop. They're
directly on the buboes. They take the poop.
That's good. That's
and
not
they
bad
make
for
it
you
into
at all.
a paste, and they mix herbs and stuff in it, and they slap it right on there.
That's not bad for you.
Poop is evil smelling, so the smell will counteract the evil. We're gonna get into smells later too.
Good. I was hoping.
But yeah, because the evil poop will draw out the evil sickness.
Of course, that makes perfect sense. I don't know why you would not do that. Why aren't we still doing that?
Another thing that was popular amongst the elite, the people that were rich and had money to spend on nonsense, basically. Mm-hmm. Powdered alicorn was added to water and drank. And this is said to be the horn of a unicorn. Unicorn horns. People bought it and thought it was actually unicorn horns.
Was it a narwhal?
Yes. Usually it was narwhal tusk or rhino horn, but it could have been anything. It could have been toenails. You know what I mean? Like I said, oh, it's a unicorn horn. It could have been the toenails. Somebody just cut off themselves.
Why, Margaret? Why toenails? Why snakes?
Because it's fun.
You love to traumatize.
I do. It's so much fun.
Margaret has nightmares about Hamid's tail, and I have nightmares about toenails.
And cut up snakes. Raw onions chopped up would be used as a poultice directly on the buboes. I bet that felt awesome. On an open wound, cutting up raw onions. Your mom loves toenails.
Griffin. 21 years of your life you spent with me, and you don't know I don't like feet.
And
You do know,
toenails
because I
are
won't touch
attached
yours.
to feet. So, yeah. But yeah, you put this raw onion poultice directly on the buboes. Also potent, like the onion fumes were also thought to combat miasma, which are poisonous fumes that would cause the plague.
Yes.
People thought that it was like this poisonous scent that made the plague.
It's so funny because the things you're saying, I'm like, oh, I learned that in another episode.
Yes.
We're learning so much from Terrible Trends, like research and listening.
Like cures like. Another thing, to dilute the deadly air with something potent smelling, plague doctors advised people to have something ready that had a strong, foul smell. Like, you could bring goats or pigs into the house, and that would work. But if you didn't have them, you could fart in a jar and seal it quick and hold it in your house. So if you thought you came in contact with a plague, you could run home quick and open the jar and smell a fart.
Can I just say, you saying that, the other day, I keep...
Does that work?
I keep jars in my house, right? I have a thing about jars. It's like a witchy thing. Like, you collect jars.
Start farting in those jars,
No,
Molly.
Griffin said, I'm going to fart in one of those jars that you save. It's under you're going to open it, and you're like, oh, he just said that. He just said that.
Fart in a jar and stopper it quick.
I wonder if it works.
Does it work? How would...
I don't know. I'll tell you if I find one that Griffin did.
One of our cousins, our husband's weird, should try it. Fart in a jar and seal it up and see
Richard's farts don't smell.
What?
Very rarely. They're loud and long, but they don't have a lot of smell.
I'd rather have loud
Interesting.
ones than sneaky ones, I guess. Yeah, so, deadly plague vapors are...
Yes.
Counteract
Keep your
that
farts.
with the deadly fart vapors.
I could combat it real well.
Yeah. Pope the 6th, I don't remember, I didn't write his name down, sorry. But he surrounded himself with flaming torches to ward off the plague.
Of course, yes.
This fire,
Viruses or diseases are really afraid of fire. It's a known fact.
Yes. But honestly, that Pope, he never caught the plague, and he didn't actually quarantine himself. He was constantly going out and, healing people and helping people, and he never caught the plague. It's probably those flaming torches that he surrounded himself with.
Maybe the smoke.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe just people were scared to catch on fire, because...
They don't got near him because there's flames around him.
Flames, he's surrounded by flames. Another thing that people... This is kind of a wives' tale, and it's something that I heard when I worked at the health food store, but they call it Four Thieves vinegar.
Oh, yeah.
It was used more as a preventative, and it was said, the folklore behind it, that it was a concoction of vinegar with garlic, horseradish, peppers, and other herbs and spices that thieves would rub on themselves before looting and grave robbing to prevent them from getting sick. And this actually might have been the only semi-effective remedy against the plague, because vinegar has disinfecting properties, so you can clean your house with it. And the herbs and spices in it probably had insect repelling abilities, and the plague was spread like fleas. So they probably
thieves. That's why they have thieves stuff now to put on you.
But honestly, the thieves essential oils they say they're not anything
that was like that.
Yeah, there's no horseradish or garlic, because who wants to put that in
Thieves
a diffuser?
smells good.
Thieves oil does, yeah.
Yeah. I know there's this lady locally that does these thieves, it's thieves rub, and you put it in the bottom of your feet, and it's supposed to keep you healthy.
Yeah, but your feet are the worst place to put things to absorb, because it's the thickest skin on your body.
Well,
If you want to put things on topically for absorption,
I never really
put it
used
where your skin is thin, like your wrists or your neck. Thin skin.
Yeah,
Your
right?
thighs.
Yeah. Someone was like, hey, you know what I think will work? Cutting up some snakes and shoving it down your road. And the other guy's like, yeah, let's try it.
No. A naked chicken ass stuck on your sword. That's what works.
Chickens breathe out their butts. What if we stuck their butt naked on your sword?
Yeah, who thought of these things? It's
And
some asshole's this is what's going to work. And then there's all these people walking around with chickens
It's
tied
bad
to them.
enough that some idiot thought this, but the people that were like, oh yeah, let's try that. That sounds good.
That sounds like it'll work.
That's a good idea. I like that. I think I'm going to... Let me put some poop on me. That sounds great.
And one of the worst things about the plague, not the fact that a bunch of people died, but there were groups of flagellants. Not flatulence! We talked about that earlier. These are flagellants. And they would
Not the
travel
crapulence.
by foot from town to town, practicing public flagellation.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've heard of this.
because they thought that the plague was sent by God as punishment. So if you're whipping yourself in public to help give penance to God,
You won't get the plague.
right? It's to help God take the plague away, because people were sinful, and that's why the plague was there. No, it was because people had bad hygiene, and that's why it spread.
Yeah.
Close quarters, and it was a mini
Stinky time.
ice age at that point in Europe. If you want to learn about the plague, listen to the last podcast on the left. He has like a 4 or 5 part day on the plague. It was awesome and hysterical and fantastic. You should listen to it. It's great. Anyway, now if anybody gets
a fetish,
it totally did too.
I had to have. You're right.
I'm gonna tie this chicken's ass to
Naked
myself.
Chicken's butt.
As the chicken's kicking us, and we do scratch and peck.
Yes, I mean, I don't understand. It makes no
sounds
sense.
terrible. It doesn't.
Doesn't make sense.
But now we have antibiotics, so we don't have to worry about it.
And vaccines
Yes.
to help us.
There's no bubonic plague vaccine, but you can cure the bubonic plague with antibiotics.
Oh, cool.
'cause, you know,
No, I'm just saying in general,
It's
we
bacterial.
have things that medicine and science that help us treat things that don't involve chicken butts or chocolate snakes or unicorn horns
or farting in a jar.
or farting in
and
a jar.
smelling it, because we don't want to do that.
I can't believe that. It's so funny because Griffin just said that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take one of those little jars you have and I'm going to fart in it.
That
So you're going to open it and
was
find
the
it.
snippet that caused this whole episode.
The
And
fart in the
if
jar?
it wasn't for the farting in the jar, I never would have found about the Vickery method, which made my day.
I've heard the word, the Vickery. Vickery.
Thomas Vickery.
Yeah, I've heard his name before for something else. There's a lot of things you said in this that have tied to other episodes we've done, which is funny because I'm like, oh yeah, we're just learning so much doing this.
Yeah,
It's
we
fun.
really are. All these
It's a
weird,
good time.
like, old,
Yeah.
the pioneers of medicine who were ridiculously stupid. I mean, they were smart, but, like, a lot of things that they thought were ridiculous.
Well, thank God they did it. So
yeah,
we
you
didn't
had to start somewhere, you know?
Because I am glad I lived in a time that people know something.
You wash your hands, and you don't pick your nose or your butt, and you see the doctor and get antibiotics if you need them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then if you're sick, stay home and don't go around other people.
Yes. That's what we learned.
Stay away from
And that
others.
was actually something that I was never good at that. Like, I would go to work sick because, I don't want to call off. And I'm like, I'm fine. But I'm spreading my disease around. And that's one good thing that came from COVID is we all are better about not going to work sick.
I never went to work. Well, no, I'll say colds I would go. But
Yes.
if I felt too bad, I stayed home. I never had that problem. Like, there's a reason why I have sick days. Of course, if you don't have sick days, it's different.
Yes.
If you don't have sick days, you can't.
Honey, I'm
sometimes.
self-employed.
I had sick days, so I just stayed.
Yeah. So,
Anyway,
If
anywho.
I call off, I don't get paid.
And now that I'm not in a classroom or I don't need a sub, that helps too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm just only hurting myself. I have to do work. I'm usually working from home when I'm calling in sick, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, if you want to see pictures from this episode, you should definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram, which I don't know if you want to.
I found some drawings of flagellation.
Oh, good.
It was fun.
Excited about that. Yeah, like us on Facebook and Instagram, and we share our episodes that shared automatically, so you can share them with your friends, and they can listen to us also, which is really cool.
Yes, and if you'd like to reach out to us, you can send us an email at thecousinsweird@gmail.com. And if you'd rather, you could also send us a message through Facebook or Instagram.
The gram. If you want to support our podcast,
Like, support, share.
yes, share our episodes with your friends, and spread the word. Just, tell your friends, hey, the Cousin's Weird. Those ladies are cool.
Share,
You should listen to them.
rate us, help a girl out.
If you want to support us on Patreon, it's patreon.com/CousinsWeird. $1 a month is Freaky Friends. You get bonus
content.
episodes, and you get a free sticker.
Yes.
$5 a month is a terrible trender. What do you get, Margaret?
And you get all the bonus episodes, you get ad-free episodes, you get a yearly gift and a free sticker, and meetup with the Patreon meetup once a month with us.
Yeah, once a month, a Zoom call or something like that. A video call. I'm just looking at myself making faces in the camera because I'm a weirdo. Okay, so I think that's it.
All right, that's it. Stay freaky!
Bye.